All right, chat, we should be live. Hold up. Let me stop. This mic needs to stop. Hello? All right. Oh, my God. All right, hold on 1 second. Hold up. How we doing? Let's get this going. This mic is acting crazy. Chat, do we sound good or do I sound crazy? Let's just get that out of the way. My bad. The camera was taking forever to turn on. But we're here. We're here. I'm going to get this off the screen. We're going to get this thing rolling. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things. Okay, let's get... Bam. Ooh, we really zoomed in. That's okay. I'm okay with it zoomed in like that. We got to shave, though. We're looking crazy. Can I get a 1? If we sound good, can I get a 1? If we got some 1s, we're going to get this thing rolling. If it sounds like I'm a robot, let me know. I'll fix it. I think we're working, though. I think we're good. Man, y'all see the title. Now, usually I would do something like this as a video. A 1? All right, sick. Let's go, man. Let's go. Usually I do something like this as a video, right? Y'all see these takeaways video. I do them and it turns out like an hour long. Like today, let's just do it live because timing reasons, I can't wait till Tuesday. Tomorrow, I got to get into the Chicago game. So if I wait, I'm going to fall behind and I'm going to be late to do anything for the Thanksgiving game. So I just want to knock this out on Monday. So today, I went through the All-22, took some notes, saved some clips. We're going to show some of those today. React to that. React to also the... React to also the injury updates that we have, even though we don't have a ton of updates, but what we have so far. And then, yeah, we got to talk about some of these standout performers. Someone said right at the beginning, like, hey, I'm curious if we have to say about Gibbs. Fired up to talk about Gibbs. I didn't think this would be a episode. I didn't know this was going to be a show I was going to talk a lot about Gibbs, but it is. It is, because I think Gibbs played fantastic this last game. And I think there's things that you can notice about Gibbs, like areas that he's playing a little bit different. I think you're seeing real development. We know Scotty Montgomery, they gave a shout out to him after the game, our running backs coach. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs is he's coming along, man. He's developing, and it's kind of cool because we're seeing this happen at the same time. Like we see with Jack Campbell, he's making plays in the pass game, specifically this last week, and you're like, all right, that looked like Jack Campbell from college a little bit. We hyped up Josh Pascal last night, like Kentucky, the guy that we were hyped to pick up, and now Jahmyr Gibbs already broken out. We know what he's capable of. Like he's the big play guy, but I think we're really seeing him round out his game. I still think this area that, it's going to take some time, but I think we're really seeing him rounded out. Situationally speaking, now he's getting used a ton in these short yardage situations. They trust him there, and he's making it work in his own way. And I feel like he's playing to his strengths really well. Man. So I'm fired up to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. But like I said, I got a lot of clips. Not a ton, actually. It's less than we usually do. I try not to go too crazy. I may even pull some up while we're talking about this just because I might get excited to be like, hey, we got to talk about this too. But as we're doing that, let's first just real quick update. Hey, shout out to BetUS. BetUS sponsored today's video. Why not? Shout out to BetUS, man. YouTube 150 sponsored today's video. That's the promotion code, your sign-up bonus, 150% deposit match on your first deposit, up to $2,000, 125% on your next 2 deposits. Let's start with these injury updates, but we got to talk about some of these players individually. Real quick, just off the top, because I don't know how many clips I actually have of him today. Za'Darius Smith, looking like a good trade. Looking good. Now, I'll say this. This was not the biggest challenge. All right, this wasn't the best team that Za'Darius Smith was going to play, but he was going to have an opportunity to be in the action a lot because of how they do things offensively. He was on the field. 11 run defensive snaps is actually what Pro NFL listed it as. Za'Darius Smith, 5 pressures in this game on 23 pass rush snaps. This dude has been really good for 2 weeks now. In this game, I think the run defense, we really saw that pop a little bit. Za'Darius Smith, man, he's looking really good. He's looking like a heck of an addition for the Lions. I mean, with the flexibility, him stepping over the center, all that stuff, it's tricky for teams to deal with, but he's looked like a fantastic addition right now. And I'm not here to compare him to like other additions that were made because I don't know how those guys have been doing, even though there wasn't that many trades during the deadline. But I'll say Za'Darius Smith has been a very welcome addition to us. He's helping us a ton. But before we get to that, let's real quick, injury updates. Now, Dan Campbell really didn't give us a ton of details on a lot of these, so we're kind of still waiting. But Carlton Davis, no participation. I'll say this. So Dan Campbell did come out and say that, he had the list of players. We know we got the short week, so it's going to be a lot about rest for a lot of these guys. And they don't have that much time to do that. And then we don't even get an extended week after this. We go to Thursday again, but it's more time. And he said there was 3 players that could miss, and they might be tough to get to the game. Now, those 3 players, I believe that he was specifically talking about Khalif Raymond, Carlton Davis, and Taylor Decker. Now, I also had read that Taylor Decker and Montgomery's both spoke to reporters after the game. Both of them said they'd be, ready to go, good to go, that kind of thing. So I'm optimistic on those two. Hopefully, I have a real reason to be optimistic here with Decker coming back. I'm pretty optimistic on Decker. I think that's like a huge swing one just because of what he means. And then, obviously, David Montgomery. The big one there for me, and because Dan Campbell's also pointed out that he didn't think most of these were long-term, is Carlton Davis. He's listed as no participation, knee injury now. It was the thumb, now it's the knee. He kind of buckled. I watched the play again today. That looked rough. I got to assume Carlton... I hope not. I would assume Carlton's not going to play this week. Hope I'm wrong. I would assume he's not going to play this week. And him saying that most players probably not going to be long-term, I'm hoping Carlton falls into that bucket. Because he's got one of those injuries where that's the kind of thing that could be long-term, it looked like. It looked like it could be. I hope it's not. But him saying most players... Maybe he was leaving somebody out. I hope it wasn't Carlton Davis. That's the real long-term one I feel like I have legitimate concern with right now. Taylor Decker, though, no participation. I think he's going to play. And again, these are estimations. Short week. Dave Montgomery, Decker. Khalif Raymond. I would assume Raymond doesn't go Thursday either. I would assume. So maybe we get a little Allen Robinson. Maybe St. Brown returning. But St. Brown's the new addition. No participation for St. Brown with a knee injury. Dan Campbell said he was a little bit banged up. So I don't know. I don't know on Amon-Ra St. Brown either. I would assume St. Brown will play just because he plays through everything. But they said he's a little bit banged up, and we'll see how he recovers. We'll keep an eye on it. We need St. Brown. Okay, this guy is outstanding. We need St. Brown. But we'll see where it's at. I'm optimistic, though, with him. And actually, the good news out of all of this, even though these are all estimations, it's seeing Terrion Arnold listed as full participation here because we know he didn't play. I thought he was going to play going into the weekend. Then it was like, hey, he's not playing. He's not even going to travel. Groin, now all of a sudden full participation. It feels like he might be available Thursday. So hopefully that was just enough time for him to get back out there Thursday because we're going to need him. No, as soon as you take Carlton out, right, you're immediately to Kendall Vildor. You're immediately to Khalil Dorsey, or as my man, the Roan 99 just said, Emmanuel Mosley, who Dan Campbell said he's ready. We saw him play special teams this last game, and like I pointed out yesterday, he made a good stop on special teams. He's ready to go. They will deploy him. He played on special teams. Yeah, he didn't play on defense. He just played special teams. For Nice, he only played special teams. But for Dan, he brought it up as like, hey, he had to trust himself, basically. And I get that, man. The guy's missed 2 years of football. Like, as a guy, if I was thrown out, I'd be worried. I think I'd be thinking about it. But it was like the perfect way to be able to bring him into the game without fully bringing him into the game. Right, not on the cuts, and you're kind of right in the action, and guys are attacking you. More so, just like go out there, fly around, don't think about it, go hit somebody. Like I feel like that's the perfect way to kind of ease him into it. Remember, there was talks about J-Mo doing that at one point from his injury. So I would assume it's on the table that if Carlton can't go this weekend, that he could play and maybe rotate in at corner. I don't know that he'd be the full-time starter, but I could see him rotating in at wide corner in this game. I think that's on the table. I think it is. I think that's worth pointing towards. And then the other one would be DJ Reader, listed with illness. Usually this, most of the time this is going to lift within a couple of days, but being a short week, not great. Now, if this was a Sunday and it was, Monday and we were hearing this, I'd be like, all right, he's probably going to go. Being that it's Monday and then they play Thursday, not great. Not great. Hopefully he's okay, though, because, just a side note, like Broderick Martin, right, he was the player of the week on scout team. I think we're going to need to see Broderick Martin here pretty darn soon to see what we have in this guy. He's going to become necessary very fast because, I brought up yesterday, like as soon as you lose, we talked about the pregame, as soon as you lose as soon as DJ Ritter's not on the field, you have an immediate monster drop-off, and then it's putting a Lee McNeil in that spot. And you have that flexibility to do it, but there is a legitimate drop-off there. So Reader means a lot to us. Hopefully we get to see Broderick soon, potentially. And then also, hopefully, DJ Reader, nothing serious here. Hopefully he's okay. So that's the injury updates. I don't think I missed anything else with that. We'll keep it moving. I just thought we'd hit on that before we get going. Something's been going around Metro Detroit, given walking pneumonia. Is that how you spell pneumonia? Pneumonia, so let's hope it's not that. Dang. I mean, I'm getting over whatever the heck I was dealing with. I just got nose stuff now, but I'm getting over it. So hopefully he's okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see it, man. I could see it. Like, I was watching my Cardinals guy today. Man was sick. Man was sick doing the stream. I was like, hey, he's pushing through it, though. Respect. But he was sick, man. I felt bad for him. He was trying to talk. He kept coughing. I'm like, man, this is a struggle. So hopefully, yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Hopefully it's not anything that's serious. Okay, so that out of the way, let's talk about this game. I'm going to go right to the clips, but then I'm also going to potentially bring up more clips. Like, that's on the table. We're going to bring up more clips here because There's a lot of things that I didn't save that definitely can be shown. I've been curious to see what Martin is capable of doing. Definitely has size. I mean, he's the perfect backup. He's the perfect backup size-wise. So I hope we get a look at him. I think we need to, even if it's not good. He put him out there. He's terrible. It's like, all right, we just know that that won't be somebody we rely on. Not this season, at least. But at least we know then. I would love to see him at least get some looks just to see what the heck it turns into, because I think we're going to need him eventually. Let me go back here. There was a lot of overall takeaways, and I'll point out a few as we kind of walk through these if a play sticks out. I put two of the big ones in the title. Jahmyr Gibbs, fantastic. We'll show a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs here. And then the coaching masterclass. Thought the Lions coached their tails off in this game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Darren Campbell ain't going to give credit to his coaching staff that like he will his players. But, man, I thought the coaching was outstanding. Like, I put that this was the test for Glenn. We know what he did. Again, 6 points allowed. Dude's chilling. This is easy. That's what it looked like. But he was fantastic. And I'm actually going to show something that he did in this game that he's done before, but he leaned into it much heavier. This has been now a theme for Aaron Glenn. About 3-4 straight weeks, we're getting specific coverages, and this may have been all season, but at least what I can remember, 3 to 4 weeks straight now, we're getting very specific coverage types for each team that we play. We have our foundation, we like to get to, there's wrinkles off it, but there's very different specific coverages he's utilizing for each matchup. For example, Green Bay, we thought the cover 3, which he plays a lot, but then he started to match the cover 3 coverage, take away the seams. So that was very specific to Green Bay. Right, so we've seen this for weeks now, different looks, and there was a different one in this game against Indy, which I had not seen him lean into like he did in this game. And one thing that we touched on yesterday, because I didn't see the All-22, and I was like, I don't know why, but they didn't have like any success over the middle of the field. Watching it back, I'm like, okay, I understand why they didn't have any success over the middle of the field. So we'll show that. We'll show that. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here though, because I did start a lot of plays today. Yeah, that's yesterday. Hold up. Okay, here we go. Got a lot of quarter. Yeah. Okay. All right, now we're good. Okay, let's get into these, man. I got about 10 plays here. 10 plays. Some will spend a little bit longer than others. Some of these actually, like this first one, we kind of talked about something like this yesterday too. I think I actually showed the play of I showed something like this yesterday, and I'll show some of the wrinkles because, like I said, I thought Ben was fantastic. There was even things that I didn't show here where I was just like, wow. Like you can see the in-game adjustments. You could see the little tweaks of like, okay, that's not there. They're taking that away pretty well. Let's try this. And it worked really well. And this was actually one of the more efficient games offensively. Like a lot of screens, probably 6+ screens that we ran in this game. All were pretty much effective. All really nice timing. I mean, the timing is always fantastic here with Ben in this offense, but the screens were incredibly effective in this game. And, Indy, as I touched on yesterday, like I thought they started to lean back into kind of their roots of like, all right, let's play some cover 3 coverage. Let's get back to who we are, right? First half, a lot of too high, a lot of Tampa 2, that kind of stuff. Second half was like, all right, let's get back to who we are a little bit. Well, one thing that they were definitely doing, this helped us open up these screens, and you saw it, to give it in the second half, the check down success we had to Monty. Like you could see it right away was cover 3 defense, their linebackers bailing out, creating so much depth. I mean, these middle players just playing so deep, and the Lions just being willing to go right underneath it. Now, they used the setup a few times, and sometimes it was there, sometimes it wasn't. I think as the game kind of rolled along, they started to find ways to kind of take it away a little bit, and the Lions had to kind of adapt off of it. But they used the setup a lot. Like, use Saint, kind of pull the safety out of play, use the deep crosser, make him chase JMO. It's kind of what I expected coming in, but we also talked about levels over the middle of the field. I thought the Lions did a really nice job with that, and you could see the spacing that was created on a play like that for Monty at 6 yards. It's great spacing. Now, one thing we also pointed out yesterday, because we're talking about all these wrinkles and stuff the Lions were doing, we also pointed this out yesterday, like the safety movement. It was the safety movement that I thought was so creative. There was a lot of movement from the safeties pre and post snap, not just like we're going to this zone coverage, bam, about to roll down. Like, not that. It was like, okay, he's playing cover 1 or is it cover 2? It's like they fan out at the snap, or maybe they're stepping down into coverage. Like their assignments would like really shift at the snap. And I thought that the safety movement was a real problem in this game. And it was awesome because it's always been a huge component of who we are when teams get into the red zone of all this safety movement. You don't know who has who, and you're like, I got to deal with that. But this is just a complete side example, but in this game, it was showing up all over the field. The movement with the safeties was huge, and we really tested their flexibility, and they added a lot for us into this game. So like here, Lions went Tampa 2, but they end up blitzing out of it. They bring a 6-man rush. They bring both their linebackers off the edge in this play, and you're going to see Richardson doesn't really have a hot read for it. It's a late kind of adjustment here. You can see the safety, Kirby Joseph, starts to drop out here right before the snap through the cadence, and you can see that he tries to get hot right here to his tight end. Let's hit him up the seam, but the tight end's not ready for the ball. Lions bringing extra rushers. He rushes it out. Had time. He could have just stood in there and let it happen, but he rushed it. And this was another thing statistically, with Richardson coming in. We showed the stat. I don't know if I showed the stat. I don't think I showed the stat. I had the stat on my screen. Y'all couldn't see it, but I said it. The stat was that he was completing 38% of his passes when he was blitzed. And the Lions definitely blitzed the heck out of this guy. 38% of his passes. And he was basically the same guy when under pressure. So it wasn't about pressuring him as much as it was just speeding up his decision making. And this is a fantastic example of that. This is not normal. You have 3 underneath defenders. Your seams are completely wide open. And you bring 6 guys. He speeds this process up. He forces this. It's early. It's incomplete. And you get an incomplete pass there by a little, just an aggressive wrinkle from them defensively. But we're going to show some other good ones because we had some fantastic wrinkles in this game. And one thing that I thought that the Lions did so well, and they executed this so well, and I'll also show an example of Vildor because Kindle Vildor, like there was 2 communication breakdowns I thought early in this game, and then towards the end of the game, him and Amik on the same page, communicated well, bam, bam. All of a sudden, Amik steps down, jumps on the pass. It's like a 2-yard gain. Lions get off the field. That was a 4th down conversion where Amik and Vildor were on the same page throughout the game. It got better. They were on the same page, and it was incomplete. Also, the one shot play that Vildor gave up, timeout. There was a couple, but I don't know if I showed it or not. I hope I did. But one of the shot plays that Vildor gave up in this game was because of the coverage the Lions were in, which they did a lot in this game, which was that palms coverage, which is where your outside corners will read through the number 2 receiver. So if the inside receiver makes a quick outbreak route, then the corner steps down. Now the safety has to drop back over top. So because of that, Vildor was kind of held down on the play, and he was sitting there with it, patient. But it was a really well-ran route, and it was like a little wrinkle from the Colts, and he kind of kept pressing. You weren't sure if he was going to break, and then bam, they went right behind Vildor, and he was like a step late. So, they had their own little wrinkles too. That's what they typically do, man. It's a well-coached football team. But this little adjustment what the Lions were doing coverage-wise in this game, it was outstanding, and they were so good, and it was really helping them just bottle the middle of the field, especially like 3rd down and 10. If it's a 3rd and longs, and they're trying to get that middle field throw, like that was their answer. I had watching Indy comment into this. Their answer was Michael Pittman, middle of the field. It was like, all right, they're going to run a lot of dig routes, and they actually had opportunities in this game that they left out there, and most of the time, to be honest, it was because of the Lions bringing extra rushers, and he just didn't get a chance to actually push the ball down the field. Like he had windows a lot of times over the middle of the field on earlier downs, but the Lions would bring extra rushers. He wouldn't have time to actually get to it, and then the pass was incomplete. But a play like this, the way they were just like shutting down the sticks by playing these like palms coverage looks defensively, where you're kind of sitting in quarters, but you're carrying things like this. So watch Amik here. Amik carries the number 2 receiver up to the safety. Then he passes off with Kirby. So you see the other crosser coming across. Now Kirby can step down and take it. Amik can essentially drop to that safety roll. Bam, right there. And you're basically just bottling in everything over the middle of the field here. They were shutting down the sticks. They had to get to the sticks, and they weren't letting them get there. Now the ball gets forced checked down. The read isn't there that Richardson would typically like, and the ball comes out late. It's incomplete. And this is what the Lions were doing. They were making them say, hey, Colts, beat us underneath. If we got you behind the chains, we made Anthony Richardson beat you underneath. And that was the key plan coming in because they're going to take their shots. And they were going to hit on a few, which they did. But it was like you can't get beat by that. Because that's who they are. You have to make them almost beat you the other way. They have to make them beat you underneath and be willing to take it and find these quick reads. And the Lions did a really good job situationally of shutting down these sticks throws or the deep middle of the field like this, where you have these crossing routes and here comes the deep dig and you're like, we got it. But everybody's kind of funneling it in. Richardson's got nowhere to go with it. And then also on top of that, pressure was huge. And this time, I believe it was Lee McNeil who ran over the right guard Dalton, and that was a mess in this game. And obviously you see the pressure there. He still gets it out because he's Richardson, and that's just what he does. But it's a fantastic adjustment. I'm going to show more plays of that. Fantastic adjustment. All right, let's go to Gibbs. Mosley played special teams. He did play special teams. He made a stop on special teams. He just got to trust himself. I think Dan Campbell said it right. He's got to be confident in how he feels, and that only he can answer that question. And Can't be thinking about it, right? That's the big thing. I know the guy's talented. I don't know what he's going to look like as a Lion, though. It's been so darn long. But I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic, man. I big fan of Mosley. Guy was wide open underneath. And that's the trade-off, right? Like, that's where you see a guy like Richardson. You're like, okay, you can give up windows. Like, this isn't one of those teams where it's like, well, let's try to take everything away. You can give up windows because he doesn't complete passes against the blitz because his reads aren't that diverse. There's a lot of 1-2, 1-2. You can see there, he just simply rushed at that play that you're specifically talking about where the Lions went Tampa 2 blitz, but they brought 6 defenders. You're going to have big holes in that spot. That's where the trade-off comes in. Vildor is still raw. I think he's, well, I don't know if I want to call him raw, but I can hear what you're saying. I think the thing with Vildor is, one, we saw the communication get better as the game went on. 2, he's not a freaky athlete. You know what I mean? Like, you watch Vildor, you're not seeing like a fantastic recovery kind of athlete where he puts himself in a rough spot and it's like he's going to go make the play. So I think there's a little bit of both of that going on. But honestly, I didn't think he played horribly. There was actually some good, I mean, that's how it goes at cornerback, right? You give up the play, cornerback's trash. Anytime he covers somebody well, no one notices it because the ball doesn't get thrown there. So there's always that balance. Now, that being said, that's usually what it's about. It's about the catch point, and that's something that Vildor's had to develop. And so to that point, Brocktoberfest, I agree. Like, that's the development aspect for him, is being better at the catch point. But I thought, like, some of that was schematic. Like, you saw when Dorsey came in, I don't know if I showed the play, but there was like a play, like as soon as Dorsey came in, he was very shallow. He was in zone coverage and he played super shallow. And there was a window right behind it because of how shallow Dorsey was playing. And to me, that's just kind of being in the flow of the game, understanding where they're trying to attack. This is a team that loves the deep curls on long distance situations. And you see him right there and they're like, man, he's playing super shallow. And I think that's just the feel of the game. Versus Carlton, who's back out, he's taking it away. He just has the feel for the game being out there. I think it's a tough spot to have to step in as a cornerback, just like randomly into a game. It's always, and then everybody tries to attack you left and right, so you better be ready to make a play on the football because they're coming at you. But we talk about these jets and all this pre-snap movement. Here's where we get to Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't even know how many plays I had in here. I don't think I had that many plays that I actually saved in here. I could show more, but there was a couple things that stood out. One, keeping his feet moving. I think that a lot of things we're seeing here with Gibbs. Number one, like, this guy is not, you know how I'm bad. It's like, hey, don't push the turbo button as soon as you get the handoff, right? Be patient. You can't take the snap and hold turbo. You're going to run right into your alignment. You got to have some patience there. And I feel like with Gibbs, what we're seeing now is Gibbs is a lot more about pacing than he is about pure speed, right? We see him in space. He can take off and run like nobody can. But it's about the pacing that I think right now, at least in this last game, that I was like, this is looking pretty awesome. It's pacing. There's a real attention to detail. I'm like, hey, let me press my gap. Let me play off my blocks. There's a real attention to detail. And we're seeing those things kind of come to life. And obviously we see him working these goal line stuff. But like, okay, so here we get this stretch run. Right, we get this big cutback out of it, which, again, the design schematically is absolutely beautiful because watch the backside corner. So use the jet, put the backside corner into the action. Then you have St. Brown on the snap, come underneath it. And instead of landing like a split zone block, watch how he wraps around and you see right here, pauses the backside corner. Now the cutback lane is there for Jahmyr Gibbs to press the gap, boom, hit upfield. Now he's got a big chunk. So this was also just schematically, great job by Ben. He was on point in this game, man. He was fantastic. But this is the kind of thing that I'm seeing out of Gibbs, man. His feet continue to work, and it's a lot more about the short burst, bam, 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 than it is more about the trying to stay 100% all the time. And I still think that's a work in progress. Like, you're seeing like times where he gets to the second and third level where he feels like he's kind of just running in everybody. I think that's still a little bit of work in progress where he's still kind of just running in everybody. And it's like, okay, division, like let's still pull ourselves back a little bit. But he does have that special burst where as soon as he hits the gas, everybody all of a sudden just feels like they just kind of hit slow motion. And he just kind of moves away from everybody at one time. So having that ability is great. The blocking is great here. And you can see it like as soon as he hits the gas, he's getting upfield. That's probably not the best example. That was more of a schematic example. And then we showed this touchdown yesterday, but this one won't get me copyrighted, hopefully. But this was fantastic too, on this outside zone. Again, a real focus on press the gap. Press the gap right here. He presses the blocks. Linebacker EJ Speed. Watch the cornerback then fill. You can see he's getting hands on the back of his blockers. I thought coming out Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs was a little bit better in kind of the gap scheme where he could just follow pulling blockers and he could just kind of settle himself down into like, this is the gap I have to fill. This forces me to be patient and kind of let it develop. The zone scheme, I think, is a very big patient. I mean, that is a process. To be consistent as a zone runner is a real process for these guys. And I think that's the area where you're seeing like, oh, okay, it's improving at times. Like, oh, I want to see him speed it up. Other times, like, let's slow it down a little bit. But I think there's a real attention to this. And you're seeing a lot of diversity. Lions have a lot of diversity in how they run the football. So you got to be ready for everything. But I love how when he's getting the football, active feet. He's ready to go, but he's also not playing out of control. He presses the line with some patience, and he works off it. At times, I'm like, hey, go, man. The lane's there, and he's a little bit too patient. But like the plays like this is where he's special because he presses the gap, speed fills, here comes the cornerback, and then he's able to play off of that. He's able to play off of the freaky explosiveness that he has because he presses the gap properly rather than just saying that's open, let me go there, this isn't. He's playing off of this, right? Settling down. This lateral speed is insane. Like he's going sideways faster than these guys are going straight up at him. I mean, it's crazy. He did that a couple times in this game. He's running sideways away from people. It doesn't look right, but he's doing it. I think this is Jack Campbell making a play. This is a messed up flea flicker. Shout out to Jack Campbell, man. Jack Campbell was on one in this game. Coverage was really good. I think the thing for Jack was he's finding routes well in this game. I think it was also a mix of what the Lions were doing schematically from getting his hands on so many passes. But you see the depth here from Jack, but we're seeing him. He looked like a real playmaker at the ball. He looked like a real playmaker when the ball was in the air in this game. Like the urgency, the reactiveness, the length, boom, gets his hand on that one. He actually did steal an interception from Brian Branch by getting his hands on the football. So that was a little disappointing, but I'm not mad at it. I mean, most cases, that's fantastic. It's just he stole an interception. Chris Johnson was super patient for his incredible speed. Chris Johnson's a dog. I met Chris Johnson one time. Shout out to Chris Johnson. I met him one time. It was random too, but I was like, oh snap, that's Chris Johnson. It was pretty fire. It's pretty fire. Only Barry Blue sidelines like that. It's weird. It's weird, but he did it a couple times. I think I'll show another one of this one. And then, when they went cover one, they didn't mess with like the cover one rat linebacker. They're not messing with cover one spy, which in this case, you'd be like, oh, this is going to be a problem, right? If we don't spy him, he's got a huge lane. You see it open up for Richardson. Richardson's gotten himself into trouble with this earlier this season because he sees the lane open, he just takes off, and it's not actually there. Aleem makes a game-saving play. I mean, not a game-saving. He makes a saving play here, though, getting over his gap, making the stop. But this usage of like cover one robber rather than trying to put like a rat linebacker underneath was very smart by Aaron Glenn because of where they like to attack on the field. So it was fantastic because like right here you see him step down, Branch takes it away, Vildor's at the top, he handles the dig route really well here. You're going to see this is good coverage from Vildor, and then they got Melk Rodriguez. They're asking him to do everything. And they're asking him to do everything in this one, but Lee McNeil makes a massive play there to stop a scramble that was potentially on the table. All right, how about this screen? How about this screen, man? This screen was outstanding. I love this. Bro, when I saw this screen, I was like, come on, man. Ben, you need to stop, bro. So they kept using the jet. They kept attaching that to it. And it was very effective in this game. Very effective. I'll show some more examples. But this screen was fantastic. So they run the tight end screen to Brock Wright. And again, you're going to see it on the play fake. Their linebackers are gone. They are taking away the middle of the field. They were gone on this. You're going to see it. They're out of there. All right? Now, the one guy they had to deal with, this may have been the cover 3 look. I think it is. There's a safety. So I think this was their cover 3 look. So backside hook curl, he's out of here. This is the one guy they had to deal with. They used a motion. This would have been your flat defender. So they pull him out on the flat so you get your lane here. But look at what they do with the offensive lineman. So Penei Sewell, he's going to get out to the second level. He's going to go hit the block. But watch the backside with Decker. Decker, instead of having like your right guard and your right tackle take off and you run this like slip screen and both your front side linemen are going out there, instead you actually pull Zeitler to really sell that run fake right here. Bam, there's this counter sell. Now they got to retreat, so they lose their eyes. But then use Decker, who shows that he's down blocking. You see him right here kind of like tiptoeing. He tiptoes through. And rather than go up to the second level, because of like, hey, cover 3, right? We got their flat hook curl out of the play on the run fake, the play action. He's bailing. We took the flat defender out of the play with the jet. Now this is the guy we have to deal with. So rather than just having an offensive lineman go upfield, it doesn't really become necessary here. But Decker, you see him lurking? He's waiting for that defensive lineman that recognizes it, pops out there, and shuts this thing down before it gets started. And you can see him right here. Bam. He's waiting for that to happen. It doesn't happen. Nobody shoots out there. But I love that little wrinkle. Rather than just saying, like, get out in space, he's, like, leaving him back on the play to find a defensive lineman that leaks out, if they do, so that that play has an opportunity to get started. Outstanding. I love that one. Okay, let's go back to Gibbs here. So, look, I'll be honest. Frank Ragnow did not play well. Yeah, I didn't think he played well in this game. Not to Frank's standards, at least. I didn't think he played that well in this game. Run blocking was an issue for Frank in this game. It was a struggle. Graham didn't play fantastic either, and they had some issues between each other, too, in this game, to be honest with you. And you can see it right here. Frank Ragnow, blown block right here on the nose tackle, kind of crosses his face. You get that immediate blown block. Taylor Decker allows him inside. Graham Glasgow, I mean, he's just splitting defenders. So, literally, everything is taken away. And this is one of those examples where you're like, all right, Gibbs, get out of there. Like, there's nothing here. This is a disaster. Just do something. Get out of here. And he does. And again, back to the laterally moving faster than people going upfield again, somehow. But he's very ready with his feet, and you're seeing that because he's getting the ball with some patience, right? And he's not rushing it, but you're coming in under control. There's a balance. There's a happy feet to his game where he's ready to immediately react. And you're seeing things like this where it's a disaster in front of him, but he immediately feels it, get out of there. And then as he turns the corner, this is another little tweak. And this goes back to Alabama. I thought one issue that he had was he was unable to slow himself down to make a move. So like you would see at Bama, he would get out in space, boom, he'd make a cut, and then that was it. There wasn't a lot of like combinations to his moves because I thought that he would just overrun himself. Then he'd be struggling to stop, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, he's going too fast. He really do look like Sonic the way he kind of ducks down and runs. It was like he would get too fast and he couldn't stop himself. There was like no body control there. Well, we're seeing right now a lot better control in space where he's not running as fast as he can. Like there is an active awareness here to then settle down, drop his weight, boom. And the spin move is what it is. It's the spin move. And I remember when we were reacting to the Inside the Den episode the year after we drafted Gibbs, and it was like, okay, we had talked about this. They showed the running back coach talking to him, and I was like, I think it's going to be the spin move, right? The spin move will be the thing that can stop him, right? Because that's an easier one to make the stop and cut off of rather than having to completely stop your momentum. You can just kind of stick and work off of that. We saw Turpin have a ridiculous kick return off the spin, and it is the spin. It's the spin move like this that I think is underway right now. He's able to stop his weight and his speed a lot faster with the quick spin and play off of that. And now he can combo that back to another move right here, right? The little side step. Now that didn't take him anywhere, but he can do that. So now he can start to put moves together off of the spin move. I think that's going to be something we're going to see a lot. That's going to be kind of a go-to for Gibbs because he's able to combine it with other things and control himself a little bit better when he's moving. Back to the defensive side here. This is kind of one of those examples. So the Lions go Tampa 2 here. And watch Carlton. Like, Carlton had a good feel for this game. He knew they wanted to get to the sticks. Watch how he stays on top of the route. Bam, get me to the sticks right here. Stays on top of it right here. He's sitting down with the receiver, and he takes this thing away. So there's nowhere for Richardson to actually throw the football. You're going to see Richardson with pressure, then ultimately just throws it away like late here to nobody. He had things open underneath. But again, the thing is with Richardson was make him beat you underneath. Make him take those. Make him force him to say, I'm going to take a check down here and there. This is second down. He won't do it. He wants the shot because he's not going through a ton of reads. So Carlton had the feel of the game to get depth, step in front of this. Now the backside had a chance here. You can see how shallow we're playing on the backside cornerback. They had a chance, but then you tie that along with the pressure. He's holding the ball way too darn long, and all of a sudden Levi with the push-pull move on Quentin Nelson, let me point out. Lions did a really good job on Nelson. I mean, the center and right guard were a problem for him, but Quentin Nelson, we handled him. We were working some of those one-on-ones. And then safety movement. Safety movement, man. Aaron Glenn was on one in this game. He's been on one, but the safety movement was the key for me, right? You see two deep pre-snap. Maybe it's quarters. Maybe it's cover 6, right? Maybe some of that combination. No, it's actually going to be cover 3. So Branch is going to step down underneath right here, hook curl defender. So now it's cover 3. He would have had the pick on this play, but Jack Campbell did his thing. He read it. I don't know if I showed the other view, but he gets the pass breakup. But Branch steps down. You see him kind of lurking here. So he steps inside this route, but this route turns into a corner. So now he can help back outside, and he ends up stepping himself into this dig route right here. Bam, he's right in a position. He would have picked this thing off. He would have picked that thing off. If Jack doesn't hit that, Brian Branch gets an interception. That was an easy interception for Brian Branch. And again, it was a nice little safety rotation that kind of brought it all together. But then also, Jack Campbell, man. Jack Campbell was making plays on the football in this game. I mean, he was lunging. He was flying around for passes. It felt like Campbell was at Iowa. That's what it felt like watching this. And also, I got to give just some random shout-outs. DJ Reader, we see you, dog. He's destroying this is the right guard on this play, right? Right guard down blocks. Dude, he just destroys this dude. He destroys Dalton. Well, watch the right guard. I mean, look at this. He just is destroying the right guard here. Bam, he just runs him over. And then Za'Darius Smith, 11 run defensive snaps. He was great. Takes on the puller low, so cuts him out of the play. Now David Long fills. DJ Reader's running over people, and he get a stop in the backfield there. Let's go back to the offensive side. Show a little bit more of Jahmyr Gibbs. This was cool because you get a complete backside cutback here. And like the lane was going to be created because, again, the Lions, schematically speaking, they were all one rushing the football. Like these stretch runs, they were doing it the right way. And again, you have that jet attached to it. So watch this. You're going to get the DB to start to kind of step into the box right here at the snap. Then you're going to get this in-between game because you can already see that they're outnumbered on the backside. The cutback lane is outnumbered because the DB doesn't completely step into the gap and the linebackers don't shift over to bump a gap. Instead, he kind of plays an in-between game and still stays on the edge even with the jet, and the linebackers revert back to where they were before the jet motion. So on the backside, they're outnumbered, right? They become completely outnumbered here. Well, watch him on the backside. So Tim Patrick is then going to step. So they're going to have the jet pull his eyes. Bam. That allows Patrick to step inside and seal off this safety right here. So watch this. Bam, seals off the safety. Now look at the lane that's created. Now this is a far cutback for Gibbs. Gibbs basically has to get back to like the backside B gap on the stretcher. He's got to go way back on this play. Right here would be the A. He's got to go way back on this play to find this cutback lane. And the Lions with that motion, you can see Kenny Moore still kind of playing the in-between. They block it up pretty well here. There's that double team. Kevin Zeitler, who's trying to reach this block, you can see he kind of loses it right here. He loses that reach block. So right now it's cut off. So the typical, press the gap, that's filled. You see the linebackers fill over top. So now it's like, okay, the cutback lane right here. This would be the cutback lane. Well, Zeitler on the play loses his block. He tried to reach it, lost it right there. So now Gibbs quickly feels that, stops himself, runs all the way back around. That's a good feel of what they're doing schematically. Pulls himself all the way back around the play to then open himself up. That's some nice control. Just being a little bit under control. It wasn't an insane run, but it was good control to understand what's going on schematically, understand where your numbers are, and that he can feel that and say, I can jump all the way back to that backside B gap because they're completely outnumbered there, right? I don't need to just put my head down and go forward. He's able to just revert all the way back around and find a medium gain because he had a good feel for what was going on. Daniel, I see you. Gibbs ran away from 4 players. It's going to be a good Thanksgiving. I'm fired up for Thanksgiving. We need to go get a win on Thanksgiving, man. We need to go get a win. The only Thanksgiving game I've been to was at home. This will be at home, and it was Lions-Bears, and we freaking lost that game, man. Shout out to LNU, man. They hooked us up. We lost. I didn't get to see Big Sean, though. That was fire. But we lost. We got to get this team back. We do owe this team one. All right. Now, this is something that if you watched the preview video on Saturday, you'd be like, okay, I know what you're talking about because we showed this. We didn't get this much from Indy. I thought we would. We didn't. They were like, they're pretty good when teams blitz them. Maybe we don't do that. It's like, okay, they didn't. They didn't do it that much. Here they're going to bring a 6-man blitz. Now, it works, but it really works because we just completely blew our blocks in the interior. Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, blown assignments, blown blocks. We got pressure. So Goff just kind of throws it away. But I still love the idea of this play, and I also like how when the Lions run things like this, you'll see that they are prepared like max protection, like tight end, running back. And what they'll do is they'll stay in the block, and then once they recognize, like, okay, I don't have an extra rusher, I can now release. Then they release. They become impactful receiving pieces. So they play the in-between game. There's a lot of checking and releasing from these guys. But here, they bring 6 rushers. Bam, bam, bam. They bring 6. It's cover 3. They have 2 underneath defenders. So we get completely singled up on the outside. You get double moves both sides. Right here, J-Mo and St. Brown both give you a double move. Goff just fires it up to St. Brown. Really didn't have any time here. Try to go 7-step drop. Didn't want to throw it to J-Mo. Safety cheats over there, so tries to come back to St. Brown. And it actually had a chance. St. Brown actually kind of beat Jalen Jones here. But just so happens that we completely blown our assignments in the interior, so we get pressure. Back to what the Lions were doing. So I said they are showing this palms look that they typically don't show this often in this game. And it was working really well to take away the sticks. And you can see it here. Like, look at Khalil Dorsey. You see where his eyes are? His eyes are to the number 2 receiver, right? He's not playing the outside quarter. He's watching number 2 receiver. So now look, number 2 receiver jumps inside. So what does Dorsey do? He bails. Now Dorsey plays over top, right? So the safety can also then play the vertical on the outside if this goes outside. So that's why he's reading through the number 2. So they're both kind of in unison. These guys got to be playing together. And they are. And they're playing so soundly together. And then on the backside, you're going to see it, right? We get to match it. So Meek carries the vertical towards the inside right here. Then as Brian Branch communicates, I got you. Step down. Kirby, you bailed out. Now watch. Kirby can roll over top now, right here. Right now, Kirby can help back on the backside by rolling over top. Lions are playing this so sound in the back end. All right, are we seeing what, bro? They're on a string together. I showed one example. It looks exactly the same as this example. Both these examples look exactly the same from coverage. These are the little things that need to be shown, man. They have to be. This is why the Lions aren't giving up anything in coverage. You have Aaron Glenn, who's every game coming in with something different. He's got a different coverage scheme. He's got something he's going to lean into. He's got some wrinkle. And it's like, wait a minute, we don't do this that often, but he's got it for that team specifically. We got to give Aaron Glenn credit because he is coming in with really good plans for each team's uniqueness. But then the way they're executing is amazing. It's not perfect, but man, it looks good. And it looks the exact same. And Amik's been a huge part of this because I brought this up. We did a show on Bleacher Report on a Wednesday. I think it was 1 or 2 Wednesdays. I think it was 2 Wednesdays ago. And I was like, Amik Robertson's at a lot because Amik's playing safety assignments for us. Like Amik will start at slot, drop the zone, bam, he will become our safety. And it's like Amik's adding a lot there for a first-year player. That used to be Branch's role. He is our safety now, so it makes sense. Amik is doing that now. But Amik's also communicating at such a high level, and he's playing so fast. He's adding a ton to us. Rather than just like straight up, can he cover one-on-one? He's doing a great job communication, putting everybody on the string in the back end. But, dude, these plays all look identical. I mean, you see it right here. Here's the crosser from Pittman. He's the guy you got to worry about. So Branch steps down, takes that. Here comes Amik bailout. Now you get to roll over top from Kirby Joseph. Look at the coverage here. Where does Anthony Richardson throw the football? There's nowhere to throw the football in this play. I have no idea. I'm looking at Richardson's shoes. I'm like, I don't know where you throw it either, dude. You have to run. You have no answer here. And this is just a great job understanding how they want to come at you. They want middle field crossers. They love the middle of the field. And you took it away sometimes with robbers, but specifically this Palms looks were fantastic, man. They were just on it. There's nowhere to go with the ball. And then you slide on top of that, the fact Lions are getting pressure. I think Za'Darius comes through on the stunt here. Yep, right there. Slips to center, pushes him out of the pocket. Lions track it down. It was fantastic. Now, a couple more individual highlights. Jack Campbell. One-on-one with the guard here. Look at Jack Campbell, man. Now, let's think about what we're seeing here, okay? I think this was the third down. This was the third down. It's like a 3rd and 10. And they needed points. So the Lions come out there in this pass rush front, right? You can see they're overloaded on one side. Smith, McNeil, Trevor, overloaded on one side. And on the motion, because the Lions go man coverage, we lose Ezekiel Turner in the box. So now all of a sudden, on the play side, which is where Anthony Richardson's going to go here, he's got to essentially deal with the A gap and the B gap by himself. That's tough for a defensive tackle to deal with. Jack Campbell has to handle 2 gaps at the exact same time. Watch Jack Campbell deal with the left guard. Again, look at Jack Campbell here. Are you serious right now? Jack Campbell's playing like a DT. This is Quentin Nelson. This is Jack Campbell one-on-one with Quentin Nelson handling 2 gaps on a run play by Richardson. Look at this. He steps inside, reads it. Man, get off me. Hold up. Let me go. Are you serious? Bro, I'm watching that like that's crazy. That's crazy, Jack. And then I heard today where Dan was like, man, our linebackers they were like rocks or something. He said something like that. Like, these are bro, this is nuts. This is not supposed to happen. And then Josh Pascal just dominates the tight end here, of course, as he should. This is not supposed to happen. And here goes Malcolm off the backside. Trevor, I'm sorry. Trevor off the backside. But that's fantastic, dude. We see, hey, Jack, just go make a dang play. We're in a bad spot. Go make a play, man. All right. Communication. We've been on a string. A lot of it's because of Amik Robertson. A lot of it's Amik Robertson. Right here, they went short motion. They kind of cut off. You see how Vilder's dealing with the short motion here? So he moves inside. Now, this one isn't fast motion. They do come to a stop here, and then they work on the play. So it's a little bit easier for the Lions to communicate, pass this thing off. So they go man here, but there was communication between Amik and Vildor. This time, really for the first time, it was soundly picked up, right? They switched this off. You're going to see them switch it off. Look at this. Amik's like, okay, you're take my guy. We're going to cleanly swap this thing. You take the vertical. So now outside in, Vildor carries it. Then Amik Robertson drops off, takes the short motion player, and handles the whip route. Amik Robertson's doing a lot of the dirty work for us right now. Are you serious? And then again, back to the safety versatility. Brian Branch is mashed up on the tight end. It doesn't look like it before the snap. It looks like maybe that's a zone drop. Brian Branch is mashed up on the tight end. He's got a long way to go. But again, like that's where it's tough because you don't know who's matched up on who. You're like, man, I know it's man, but does that guy have him or does that guy have him or this is not man at all because there's nobody lined up over him? Then here goes Brian Branch. I got him. But Amik Robertson being on it like this, and you can see like this was supposed to work. They were like, hey, let's create a confusion issue. Vildor's been breaking down the coverage. Let's cause some confusion, right? We're going to run the whip out of this. If Amik Robertson continues to carry, Vildor carries too because that's what he's been doing. We're going to have him open. So Richardson just trust it. It doesn't break down because the Lions play sound on defense and they shut it down. And then this was one of my favorite plays just from like a player making a play standpoint outside of the Jack Campbell one. This was a nasty route. One-on-one with Jalen Jones. Jamison Williams here just torches him one-on-one. He runs this deep curl. Watch him torch this dude. He's going to run like a double move. He's going to kind of fade it inside, then break it back out, press it, and then settle down. He doesn't hit top speed here, but it's the threat of being able to hit top speed that becomes the problem. So singled up, one-on-one on the outside. It's cover 1, cover 3. You get singled up on the outside. Watch this. Bam, second level. Bam, plants it. Look at the separation he creates. Dude's open by like 3 yards. And it was a couple weeks ago. What game was that? It was a couple weeks ago. There was a game where I was like, man, that was a really nice comeback route from Jameson. Like, that's something that we should probably keep an eye on because he typically doesn't run those routes well. He wouldn't, and he wouldn't separate on those. Single high coverage, one-on-one on the outside. We haven't always been able to beat that. And right now, Jameson, control at the top of the route is really showing, where he's able to press it, sell it vertical, and then look at right there. He used that offhand, tries to separate, little nuance, tries to separate off him, settles himself down, comes back to the ball. We got a big chunk play, just cooking his guy one-on-one. Cooking his dude one-on-one. And then back to Jahmyr Gibbs. This is the thing. It's the patience. Watch how Jahmyr Gibbs hits this. Look at how patient he is. So it's like a delay. You get the two-pole off it. Watch Jahmyr Gibbs as he hits this. So he's kind of just patient. I think he's really good behind the gap scheme. I think he looks really good when he's following pullers. So he's patient, kind of settles in behind it. And right here, he sees Franklin Phil, EJ Speed, Phil both inside. As soon as he feels that, watch this cut. Boom. It's 0 to 100 like you just don't see. It's insane. It's so quick. And I think that's the thing with Gibbs. What makes Gibbs special to me isn't that he just outruns people in a straight line. It's that he does this. It's that he goes from like, all right, to like, oh, dang, okay. You know what I mean? No one's prepared for it. And especially once you get out in space, like it catches everybody off guard. Because as soon as he hits the gas, everybody just looks like they slow down. He's popping these things. And I think as he continues to work the patience together, we're seeing how real dynamic he actually can look in a lot of these spots here. And you see it, like, look at his footwork here. As he pressed the line of scrimmage, man, he's got active feet as he presses the line. And some of these duo runs, these inside, you're just looking for a few yards at some of these duos. But like here, look at the feet, man. He's active. Bop, bop, bop. Chopping his feet. Feet are ready to go. Then boom, fills. Ducks his head, keeps his legs turning, and we're able to kind of just push him forward. He doesn't do much, but we push him forward because of that. And then look at this one. Right? Same kind of thing. Feet are active. You see how they're ready? Bam, bam. Feet are padding, ready to go. Sees the defender crash down back inside, and right here, look at this. Just sweeps right past him. It's ridiculous. That's what's helping him. He's so under control right now. The Lions go to like that stretch scheme. It pulls everybody one way. They slam it down. They slam it right down here, right here. And then all of a sudden, gives patience, footwork. He's ready to go. He's easy stop start, and he's off. And when he hits the gas like that, it's crazy. Then out in space, getting behind his lead blockers. Here he feels a little bit still kind of out of control. But truly, when he comes from like, okay, I'm kind of moving, and then I hit the gas again, everybody's just like, feels like they slow down. It's like, okay, they like right here, I'm looking at this thinking like, all right, Stewart might pull him down from behind, right? Big number 90, that ain't even Stewart, but number 90 might go get him, right? He might pull him down right here. Like, okay, he might be able to get him from behind. Maybe Kenny Moore if he's actually running. And then no. And then no, he just kind of separates again. So I think that in some ways is still a little bit of work in progress, but I like where it's at. And I think what we're seeing right now is Gibbs is taking another step. And give credit to Scotty, the running back coach. Give credit to whoever you want. Give credit to Gibbs. He's taking another step here. This is not the same guy. He's truly getting better from what I'm seeing. And this was one of my favorite games to watch Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I was going through this, like, I think we're going to have to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs today. This guy's looking really good. Let me make sure I didn't miss any notes on that, though. Yeah, more pacing. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back. I think I got more clips if we want to show them. What's up, Charles? I see Charles Man Bear Pigs in the chat. What up, Man Bear Pig? I think Thanksgiving, Detroit going to need one of those offense on all cylinders, defense going to have a harder time without Carlton. Yeah, that's going to stink not having Carlton, man. Hopefully we get Terry on back this week. That's the hope. Maybe Mosley gets a little bit of a look. It'd be a good time to give Mosley a look. Big division game. Be fired up for that. It'd be good. It'd be great. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just hoping that one's not long term because I would assume he's not playing this weekend. I mean, it's a non-contact thing, but I would assume he's not playing this weekend. But the fact that he didn't come out like straight like Carlton, he's out for a while. I guess that's a reason to be optimistic. A couple other takeaways. Taylor Decker was great in this game. Taylor Decker was fantastic. Man, it is so good having that guy on the field. Like, he's great in pass pro, but as a run, is he out? Is he out for this? Is Davis out? I don't know if he's out or not. I really don't know. I would assume he's going to miss, but I don't know. We have no idea. Right? It was estimated today that no participation, but I'm honestly not sure. But yeah, Taylor Decker was great. It's great having this guy back. He is a really good run blocker. He was better than Penei Sewell in this game. Sewell was a little bit up and down. He was fantastic. Sewell's a people mover. Sewell double teams. He just drives guys 5 yards back. That's not really Decker, but Decker was really good in this game. Handled a lot of the stretch stuff well, and we kind of leaned behind him. I thought Frank had a little bit of an off game, let's be honest. Him and Graham had some things too there, but I thought Frank had an off game. He played a really good interior, so it's understandable, but it was not his best. DJ Reader, 2 pressures in this game, hasn't had a pressure in 4 weeks, okay? DJ Reader came to life for us in this game. He's great against the run, but man, he was getting after the quarterback a little bit. 2 pressures, hadn't had one in 4 weeks, so it's great. DJ Reader, he kind of woke up a little bit in this game, which was great to see, man. He was running over to, he just outclassed some guys, and it was great. But we also did well against Quentin Nelson in one-on-ones. Like we did some things against Quentin Nelson one-on-one. But DC said Mosley played all special. He did play special teams. He did play on special teams. Yep. He made a play on special teams. I can show you the tackle that he made. I didn't have it in that clips, but I can show you the tackle that he made. But yeah, he did play special teams. That graded out the best. Zeitler's consistent monster. Zeitler's great. Zeitler's been a way better run blocker than I expected. Zeitler has been really good, man, getting off the line of scrimmage. Za'Darius was fantastic. No, Za'Darius was great. Well, the thing was with Za'Darius, and I'll show his clips. What was so good about Za'Darius is Za'Darius was really good against the run and in limited snaps. As a pass rusher, he's got 8 pressures now in 2 games. He's kind of been what we thought he could be. Like, he was that dude. Like, he was the dog, and he's been that. Who else is a good returner other than St. Brown? I don't even know. It's a good question, man. As a punt returner, because I feel like a lot of the people you see during camp are guys that are no longer here that actually return punts. Look, give me a second to think on that one. I don't even know who else was returning punts. I don't know if Vaki would return punts. I don't think Vaki returned punts in training camp. I could be wrong, but I don't think he did. I know he's backed up for kickoffs, but I don't think he returned punts. It's same thing with Craig. I've never seen Craig return. I don't think I've ever seen Craig return a punt, but I don't know. It would be like Maurice Alexander and Tom Kennedy. Jameson Williams has returned punts. I mean, I guess they could put J-Mo back there. I've seen him return punts. Maybe Dorsey. I know J-Mo did. So maybe. I don't know. Vaki returned punts in college? Are we sure about that? Hey, he might have. I didn't know he did that. We gotta cover Raymond. Isaiah Williams would be useful. It's unfortunate he left, man. Or that someone wanted him. I understand it, but it's super unfortunate. Jamar Jefferson. Okay. All right. I see what you're doing there. That's crazy, but I see what you're doing there. If you want to give Jamar a look to return some punts, I ain't mad at it. Ain't gonna see me complain about it. Gibbs did returns with Alabama. Punt returns though? Honestly, I don't know with Gibbs, to be honest. That was a while ago. I don't remember what Gibbs did. Maybe with Georgia Tech. He did a little bit. That is in his 100 different skill sets. Well, it might be. I mean, look, I don't doubt it. He was a receiver in high school. I would buy that he probably did it in high school. You know what I mean? If I had to guess, I would assume he returned some things in high school. You know what I mean? They've used Craig on kick. Yeah, Craig's been used on kickoff. So has Vaki. Those guys have been used on kickoff. But I know they look at punt different. I know J-Mo's been back there. So I guess at worst, they could probably put Jameson back there. They could do that. That's on the table. I don't know that Dorsey was doing it. I feel like Dorsey was, but I don't know that he was. I don't remember, man. I honestly don't remember back to camp who was doing it. I got to think Dorsey can do it. He was probably doing it, but I don't know. I mean, it would make sense. Like if I'm Dorsey, I'm learning how to return punts, man. That's a potential role for me. Let me pull this up. Because I do have more. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything good here. Decker was great. We saw David Long. David Long played 12 snaps in this game. He played 12 snaps, man. Okay. I don't think I missed anything else there. And then, there was... Okay, actually, hold up. Before we go to this, I kind of want to... I don't want to put starters in that spot, just me. No, I get that. But I would just tell them, don't return. Just fair catch it, bro. Look, man, hey, if you're a starter, we worried about it, just don't return it, dog. But I need someone that I trust. I ain't going to put someone I don't trust out there. If it's safe, it's safe. You know what I mean? Just don't return it then. Just fair catch everything or get out of the way if you're in your own 20. If you're inside your own 20, just get out of the way, dog. Other than that, just fair catch everything. There was a little adjustment in this game, and I know it's not going to be in this clip, but there was an adjustment in this game that Ben Johnson made that was fantastic, man. We were trying to attack the flats in their cover 3 defense in the second half. We tried like 2 or 3 times in a row. They took it away, and then boom, we came back to it. And Ben Johnson came back with like an outside hitch, and it was great because they used Laporta. They just ran like a spot right over the middle, and he hit the quick hitch to St. Brown. And it was cool to see that because like 2-3 straight plays, he was like, oh man, they're taking this away pretty well. And then boom, he found something for it. And it was cool to see that because it was like a very much in-game adjustment that was quickly made by Ben to just kind of find a wrinkle that was actually going to work for what they were doing. And that was fantastic. But the guy that has been great is Za'Darius Smith. And not all these plays is you're really going to notice him that much. Here you will right? Working on the play side here against the tight end, handles the tight end one-on-one. He actually gets involved in this tackle. I thought he was just doing a really good job. I mean, look, again, it's Matt Gonsalves, right? It's their backup tackle, so it's not their normal left tackle, but I did think that he was doing a pretty good job in those spots. Like, he was handling business. He was handling the business. He was getting clean. I'll show one of them. This time it actually was ran to him right here. He works through the tight end, gets over top the block. Like we showed this one yesterday. That's where Za'Darius shined in this game. I mean, he's getting pressure. To be honest, Za'Darius been getting pressure since, statistically or not. Like, he's winning. He's winning. He's getting himself opportunities where if the ball's in their hands, he's going to be back there. And he's shown a lot of contact balance recently. Like here, he takes on the puller. But Za'Darius is a good overall edge. Za'Darius is really good. Za'Darius is really good, man. He's really good, bro. It's going to be fantastic next year. When he comes back, when he plays next to Hutch or opposite Hutch, it's going to be fantastic having those two together. You can see it right here. Like, he's getting himself clean, setting a real strong edge, getting that inside arm free. You can see it right here. Boom. Look at that, man. Like, he was doing work. Manu could be a possibility. Okay. All right. At first, I read that. Like, wait a minute. Manu. Okay. That's crazy. They said Manu could be a possibility. Who would be crazy enough to get in front of me is 4.9 speed? That's wild, bro. That's wild that he even ran a 4.9, to be honest with you. Jack Hale been really impressive. This was such a game for Jack, bro. Charles, did you see the play that we showed where he worked two gaps on a pass down and he made the tackle on Anthony Richardson? It was ridiculous, man. This is a ridiculous play. It's like that dude's just rising to the occasion, making a play. I mean, this is what, you could see it with Za'Darius, man. You could see him setting the edge, strong edge here on the rookie. He was struggling. He's reaching for him now. You can see him, then he gets himself clean right there, gaining control of these blocks. That's the big thing about him. He gets himself clean a lot. That's the big thing that stands out. And then this time, we're handling the double teams here. That's why Malcolm has the opportunity to go make the play here. Because look at DJ Reader handle his double team. I mean, this guy, he's moved nowhere. They're moving him nowhere. Come on, man. The DJ Reader, this guy has given up no ground, man. And then now McNeil did a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. McNeil did a little bit. But as long as one dude's eating, we're all right. And he handled business right there. We see you, DJ. Za'Darius reminds me of Clowney, probably a better pass rusher. Probably I could see that. Definitely if you go like a throwback Clowney. Like recently, I'm not a big Clowney guy. Last couple years, I didn't, I'm just not a big fan. But, I mean, that's not hate on him or something. I just didn't think he was that great, so I wouldn't have signed him or something during the offseason. That being said, though, like in the past, that probably makes sense. I could see that. The thing is, too, like Za'Darius is such a power player, and you see that in his game. But, man, he's showing some real slipperiness. Now, this isn't a good one. This is a pass down, and they ran it there. So that's not a great example. Honestly, not a great example of what Za'Darius was doing against the run. Meat missile, baby. Okay, I don't know what that means. That sounds crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds a little crazy. Meat missile? Okay. Smith. You can see his eyes halfway across the field. I think we're all set. No, that's facts, though. That is facts. I like look how he's taking on these pullers, man. He's cutting them. And then, we showed this one earlier, and it just kind of muddies up everything. But this from the other angle. Look at DJ Reader here, bro. My gosh. Dog, I should have showed this angle. I showed the other angle when I just showed the clip. I should have showed this one. You can actually see the right guard move backwards 2 yards. Hey, DJ Reader's feeling himself, bro. DJ, get healthy, dog. Get healthy, dog. We need you. We need you against Chicago, bro. Come on, man. We can get healthy, bro. And then, this was the Jack Campbell play. Let me just show it again because it's fantastic. The Meat Missile's his nickname? All right. I don't know whoever came up with that. All right. That's from Easy. Okay. I should have guessed. I should have guessed some Easy. All right. I should have guessed. Well, let's shout out to the Meat Missile. That doesn't even sound right. I'm not going to say that. Let's shout out to Jack Campbell. Sorry, Easy. I don't know what we're doing. But look at this play, bro. I just showed this one. This is insane. He's one-on-one with Quentin Nelson. And he works over the A and B gap here to handle Anthony Richardson. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, man? I mean, I don't know. At that point, I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. That's all I need to see. Who's our starting DBs? I'd guess that we rotate. I'd guess that we'd rotate Vildor and Mosley if Carlson can't go. And I'm pretty optimistic Terrion's going to roll in this game. You know what I mean? I'm pretty optimistic Terrion's going to roll. Seen him estimated as full. I got belief he's gonna go win this game. That's my take on it. I think he's gonna go in this game. We've won 9 in a row. So they showed. Did y'all see that clip of Za'Darius? Yeah, it got me, bro. They showed the clip from Za'Darius, man. Not Za'Darius. It was after the game. I didn't notice that we were reacting to it yesterday. And the Lions, not the Lions. My goodness, what am I talking about? No. The post game locker room speech from Campbell, and he was like, "How many of you have won 9 games?" And it was just a little thing from Za'Darius, bro, that had me laughing, man. Because I don't know if he's on this example, but I saw like a full screen version of it, and he like raised his hand. Like, this dude is not won 9 straight games. Wait, hold up. Let me see if I can find the play. Maybe it doesn't show up because it wasn't a full screen. Maybe that's the issue we were dealing with. That may have been the problem. Why I didn't see it the first time. Someone had a full screen version of this thing, man. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna show this.
That's 10. That's 9 in a row. How many of you guys have won 9 in a row in here in the NFL? Raise your hand.
Okay, you can't really see him. So right here, he's raising his hand, and then he hits him with the. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
They gotta cut it off. Like this guy.
Raise your hand.
But I think it's great energy. I think it's great energy. We see he's there. I mean, he got a hole in his shirt. It looks like, but it's great energy. I think Ben Neiman thought for a second, like, hold up, maybe he did win 9 games in a row. This dude's lying. He's straight lying, bro. Get out of here, dude. I want to see Mosley, man, too. I want to see Mosley, man. I want to see him. He's dude's talented, man. I just want to, for his sake, I just want to see him get through a game. I mean, just get through a game and then go from there. And then I'll start like, hey, how's he playing? I just want to see him, like, even if it's rotating, like 20 snaps on defense, 15 snaps on defense. If we just come out of the game and he's good, it's like, all right. And then from there, it's like, all right, how did he actually play? Because he just needs to get through it. I think at this point, like, you just got to get through the game first, and then we can build on that. But yeah, man, no, I think we hit on all the key notes that I had, to be honest with you. I think we hit on everything there. Don't think there was anything else that I needed to throw in there that I didn't yet. So I think we're good to go. Man. We talked a lot about Gibbs. So that, yeah, I think we hit on there. The only other thing I'll say, like, offensively, I thought Goff left a couple things out there. But nothing egregious. Like, he missed the one to Laporta on the flat. They had one later where they ran the boot, and actually it was covered up. See, this is where I give the Chargers credit, man. The Chargers covered it up pretty well. We tried to run that little boot where we run like the delayed out route with Saint. Goff didn't like it. They actually covered it pretty well, but the cornerback also bid on it, and that meant like behind it, we had a deep corner route that was open, and Goff didn't throw it. He just threw it away. So, like, I thought there was a couple examples out there that he potentially could have, pressed it a little bit more. But to be honest with you, watching it back, like, I love seeing the dude move around. I think he's adding a huge dimension to this offense by doing that specifically. They're calling this a pass play. That's right, because it's a touch pass. Hoping the Ravens dismantle the Eagles next week. Yeah, that'd be great. Za'Darius raised his hand. Like, I've already been there. Bro, this dude. I wish I could. They should have had a full version of that. I don't know why they only had the half version of that. Like, right here, bro. Za'Darius absolutely cooked the left guard here. See, we was doing work on Quentin Nelson. I'm telling you, we were doing some good work on Nelson. And right here, he absolutely cooked. I mean, now that was in a bad spot here, but he cooked. Like right there. That was a quarterback hit, but shoot. Almost a knockdown. I don't know. Maybe he knock him down. Probably not. Anthony Richardson don't ever get knocked down, that dude. But it was close. Yeah, man, I just like it, bro. See how he gets himself clean all the time? He's like super slippery. That's what he's looked like. He's looked super slippery with us. We've seen the long arm move a lot. We've seen the inside wince. We've even seen some contact balance from him. We've seen the get off be pretty threatening. Like, we're seeing a lot of diversity from him. And then at the top of the rush, not pushing himself out of the pocket, that controlled, and then work back over top like this. I mean, he got some help on that one, but like I feel like we're seeing a lot from Za'Darius. Like, we're seeing a lot of versatility. Let me go back here. Because we already rolled through most of this, so I don't want to do it all again. I thought there was something else on display. Pascal playing big boy DN. Yeah, shout out to Pascal, man. Pascal had a good game. Pascal did his thing. See, this is one of those spots where it almost got us in trouble playing that robber role. And that's fine. We made him take the shot over top. We blitzed him, so he ends up missing the shot here. That's the kind of the payoff. But we honestly, this wasn't even like a blitz. It's just that nobody released, so we just kind of rushed. So this was a straight cover one robber. But you can see we took away the middle route. He had to go vertical, and he ends up missing it. That being said, though, that was just another good example, not even on purpose, of what Glenn was doing in this game. The coaching was outstanding. I want to show the little stretch there real quick before we get out of here of what I thought that Ben Johnson did well. Let me show that real quick. The little adjustment that he made, like one of them in this game. Let me show that real fast. All right, pass. Sorry, man, the filters be throwing me off here. I don't play result. No, not play result. Situation. Passing. Hold up. Play result. Attempt. Yeah, attempt. Let's go to attempt here. Starting to feel themselves. Who they beat this year? Packers week 1. Love injured, then Commanders. I mean, yeah, they're feeling themselves, which is cool. I think the media's feeling them a little bit more. I mean, I don't know, bro. I'll be honest. Eagles fans are crazy. Like, Eagles fans are crazy, bro. Just respectfully, you guys are crazy. I'm just being honest, man. You guys are on a different level. So they've been feeling themselves since the year began. You know what I'm saying? They've been on one since they were yay high, for being real here. All right, I'm gonna throw this on the screen. I don't know where we're at within what I was trying to show here. This was an incomplete pass. Let me see if I can figure out where we're at here. I don't think we're there yet. Yep, no, okay, we're close. Okay, we're close. So, cover 3 look here defensively, and this one, just a little late. Honestly, the timing was just off here with JMO. JMO runs the skinny post, and we have the out here. Goff holds the flat. They lose an extra underneath defender because of the blitz. And the window's there, you can see it. It's just that, and the Lions, honestly, the Lions do a real nice job with this. They did it again in this game. Like, having these little underneath routes to pull the underneath defenders. Really nice wrinkles. They do that really well to kind of open up those second level throws. And like here with Patrick kind of settling down, kind of take the eyes. It was just late here coming to that. And when you watched it with Goff, like it didn't look like he was super late. It didn't look like but JMO gets through the route so fast. He doesn't really settle in and break his routes. He kind of just rolls through them. There's a lot of these speed breaks. So he's kind of just flying through the top of his routes. So like you definitely got to be on it to hit JMO through it, because right there he's running past the guy. Eagles fans are so toxic. Yeah. There's a little bit of toxicity there. There definitely is. Yeah, no doubt about that. Okay. I gotta go to the right spot. We're not there yet. We're almost there. Let me go to the right spot. Goff right here. Let's go to this one, because that was. Yeah, let's go here. I think this is where it starts. Honestly, I may be a drive ahead, but we'll still get to see the play where they made the adjustment. Actually, I think this was the adjustment. No, it wasn't. Yeah, no, they were doing a nice job taking this away. So when they were playing cover 3 in the second half, they were taking away the flats pretty darn well. And the windows that the Lions were trying to open up, they actually covered them pretty well. So the Lions had to use St. Brown in a hitch route to open it up. And that's one of those like in-game adjustments that they made. So he looks over here. JMO does run a sit-down route. He would have been open. But on this backside, you can see what they were trying to kind of create here as well. Like look off the hook curl defender, hit this tight window right here, bam. Because now it's like, hey, cornerback, he's not responsible for the flat technically in a straight cover 3. He would have to get out there underneath the number 1. Like that's how we would play it, under the 1. So he has to get under 1, which is St. Brown in this case. You have to get under that. Well, then the window could potentially be there for Laporta if you hit it quickly, right? If he comes back, bam, that's where you hit Laporta. But the linebacker's there, the hook curl, so he doesn't like it. And then St. Brown, they do get underneath 1. There's a little pressure, spills him out, doesn't find anything. Now he's throwing the ball away. And they had a couple plays in a row where they actually did they did a good job. We had kind of the balance of a lot of levels. We had some chunks, but mainly we were just kind of checking the ball down. That was our 3 and out. Was that our 3 and out? Yeah, that must have been our 3 and out there. But then when we got back on offense, I think here was the answer that we had. This was great. We put St. Brown out wide. Then we use our tight end in line. Our tight end is just going to break middle of the field here. So now we create that spacing so that we can get a pure one-on-one. And as like you saw with the double move, like we really, and then we saw with JMO late, like we truly leaned into go win one-on-one on the outside versus that cover 3 deep, because you're always going to get that. So rather than trying to hit these windows, which they were playing pretty tight in the inside here with their backers, rather than doing that, we just said, let's get wide. And even here, you could see he's got a chance. He's got a chance as flat defender, but Goff quickly gets it out there. hits the curl route, picks up 7. And I think that's something that the Lions started to kind of get to, was like, let's kind of minimize trying to work these tight windows, which they're actually playing really well over the middle of the field. And that's why, speaking of, immediately after we just showed this play, right? You go to this max protect look, you try to go boom, double moves. I thought we'd do it early in the game. They did it at the end of the game, but they try to go double moves here. And on paper, it makes a ton of sense because, again, you're taking the middle of the field out of it. Now they blitz 6, and then we blow blocks here. Frank Ragnow falls down, and we have no time to get the shot. But you could see it. Like, they truly leaned into, like, let's go one-on-one outside. Let's not try to hit these tight windows and force these tight windows anymore. And that, I think, kind of brought him home. Like, the J-Mo big, deep curl that we saw kind of brought him home, was their ability to win outside. And honestly, in the past, we haven't been able to do that all the time. We couldn't always win on the outside. If we needed to win on the outside, we couldn't always win there. In this game, we did. And even though they're young corners that have played really well, this game, when we needed to go win on the outside, our guys pretty much just won on the outside, specifically on kind of the outbreaking routes towards the end. I appreciate you, Mr. Detroit City. What up, Silver Surfers in the building? I see you, Silver Surfer. And then, we had this little check down here. Again, it's the same look defensively here, but you can see how they're playing. They're kind of back to the sticks, so we checked this one down. Nothing crazy about this one. Kenny Moore playing extremely well this season. Kenny Moore's a dog. We definitely, now we did see a lot of. See, again, look, this is what I'm talking about. Actually, showing you guys this way makes it make sense, because now I'm showing you play after play after play, literally what the Lions did. They said, they're taking away the middle. Okay, here we go. We're going to go one-on-ones on the outside. These were the answers that the Lions started finding, that in the past they hadn't always been able to find these. And even that ball wasn't fantastic, but came back to it, made the play. But what was I going to say? So, yeah, no, I mean, shoot, I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm straight up. I don't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, that's the last one, so it works out perfectly. That's the last one. But yeah, no, Kenny Moore is playing well this season. The Lions definitely used a lot of 2 tight ends and 3 tight ends. They really, and we even saw like that one full house look. Oh my goodness, bro. Okay, hold up. Chat, give me a second, because now I'm getting fired up. We're almost done here, and I appreciate you. We're almost done here, but I gotta show another play, because the Lions tried it a couple times. The one little, like, we saw the little like wheel route that we missed early in the game where Goff kind of overthrew it. The Lions came back and ran one. Let me see if I can find the play. They came back and ran one, and it was kind of covered up, but it was really pressure that took it away. But the design was money. And you're watching that, and you're like, oh, this would have worked here. It was actually the sack fumble. And I think it was actually a cover 4 on this one. It was a sack fumble. So I should be able to just... Can I just search by fumble? Oh, no. Wait, hold up. Maybe I can search by sack, because it... Yeah. No, that should work. We had 3 sacks? Oh, dang. Yeah, 3 sacks ain't great. You know what I mean? 3 sacks is not great. But right here. Oh, this wasn't a full house one. Okay, but this was still cool to design. I'm thinking of 2 different plays. It's fine. This one was cool, though. So this was actually, I think this was quarters coverage. But... watch what the Lions do. So they put Laporta at full. So you know how we tried it? We tried to like get the wheel. We tried to pull the corner out. Boom, come right behind to hit the wheel route. So then we put Laporta at fullback. Here's the motion. Now notice the personnel. Jumbo package, extra offensive lineman, 2 tight ends, 1 receiver. Now they're matching personnel. So they got all these backers on the field. You can see Grant Stewart is their extra backer. So they put him on the field. And now all of a sudden, watch how they attack this. So they play fake. They're going to run the deep curl with J-Mo, pull out the corner. I'm not even showing the play. I'm not even showing the play. Watch this. They run the deep curl, pull the corner with Jamison Williams, and then they're going to have Sam Laporta run the wheel route outside of it. So they did kind of this setup a few times, but this was amazing. And the look was there. We blew the block at the bottom against this quarter's look, and that's why he got the sack fumble. But the design was very creative. And you can see the setup was going to be there. So watch this. So again, heavy personnel. There's the play fake. Here comes Latu. And look how they peel it right here. It had a chance. This is kind of, it's not the exact same, but it's like a similar concept with the St. Brown years ago against Arizona. But this time they just put him at fullback, so you kind of lose him. Right? Like I feel like as a linebacker here, the jet motion, Stewart's paying attention. Now there's the run fake. Now he's dealing with the running back, because if he's the flat defender, he's got to deal with the running back into the flat. But this guy's already gotten behind it. Now he picked it up kind of late and realized it, and you got the Franklin racing over top. Like, I got to go get over there. But there was a window. There was a window to throw that football. So you could see, like, even when sometimes we didn't execute, you could still see, like, okay, I see what they were doing, though. They had a good strategy. There's no doubt they had a good strategy. And then one more play that I want to show. Sorry, we're basically showing every play at this point. I apologize, but that's where we're at right now. The other thing that I want to show is Oh, it was actually right before this. Yeah, it was actually right before this play. Okay, great. Okay, well, if this was in order, this would be fantastic. But this would have been Tim Patrick. This would have been Tim Patrick. So, can I just look up Tim Patrick? I can do that, right? Tim Patrick? No, don't save search. Hold on. wait. I'm trying to figure this out, man. Okay, here we go. Tim Patrick had a few grabs. Tim Patrick did a little work. To be honest with you, Tim Patrick did a little bit of work. Tim Patrick. Wait. What are we showing here? Tim. Oh, gosh. Tim Patrick. Here we go. Wait, what? No, not on field. Oh, okay, that's why. Not on field, receiving. You got to catch the football. Watch it. It's a short gain. But this was huge because so the play before, the Lions tried, you guys may remember, the Lions tried to run like the deep over route with Jameson Williams, and it was taken away, and Goff kind of just threw it away, and it was like, oh, they covered that pretty well. So the Lions came back, and the reason they covered it well is because they were playing cover 3. And like we just pointed out, their underneath coverage was really sound at cover 3. They were not biting incredibly aggressively. They were staying into their zones. They were finding routes. They were covering it up well. So the very next play, now think about this. We're at the 9-yard line, and the Lions are going to run a stick concept. We've ran this from our own 10, not at our opponent's 9-yard line. So the Lions were like, all right, if that's what they want to do, cool, we'll just run our beater for it. They simplified the heck out of this. Watch this. Fast motion. He runs the flat. You run the hitch. And it was nothing that deep, but it was just the fact that in the moment, for Ben to sit there and be like, okay, or whoever saw it, sit there and be like, all right, well, they were playing cover 3 inside the 10. And they covered up the deep over route. They didn't bite on the play fake at all. Usually, like, Goff can kind of throw back and he's open, he's running away from people. But instead of doing that, let's just kind of simplify it. They're just sitting in cover 3. We'll just run one of our cover 3 beaters. Keep it simple. So look at this. I was like, what? They ran it for the 9? Like, who does that? It was weird. It felt weird watching it live. Like, they really just ran that? But it was great. It was great. And, it got us into a spot where we could run the ball in the end zone. It's great. Fantastic. Off topic and early, but who would you take in the first round? I think an offensive lineman. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I just keep taking offensive linemen, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. No, it's a good question. I think nose tackle's on the table. If there was a guy for that. I think edge rusher should be on the table. It should be. I could also consider linebacker. I like our linebackers, but I could consider it. I'd consider a linebacker just because of where we're at. I wouldn't be mad at that if you want to put a dog with Jack Campbell. Honestly, I think everything's kind of open because I'm thinking like if they took a receiver, would I be mad? I don't think I'd be mad. But I'd probably lean offensive lineman. Like if I was guessing right now, offensive lineman. I'd probably go guard. But my man says tackle guard if he can play either one. But maybe center, like depending on what the whole Frank Ragnow situation. Probably an interior offensive lineman for me right now. That's probably where I'd lean. Yeah, the Harbaugh brothers are playing their game, so we're not going to keep this much longer. It's just exciting, man. It's exciting having a coaching staff that's this good, that can feel it as the game's going on. We got guys performing. Gibbs is taking off. And if you're just joining now, man, roll it back. I want James Pierce, 6'5", with frame to get to 270. 270. What is he, a DN? Yeah, man, that's kind of where I'm at, right? If they just in a need sense, the interior offensive line makes sense. But all right, man. I appreciate y'all joining, man. I will see you guys soon this week. We got to get prepared for this Thanksgiving game. But, Tennessee DN. Okay, so he's a DN. Okay. But until then, man, well, I don't know what we're going to do until then. But we'll get there. We'll get there, man. Have a great week. Enjoy tonight's football game. And I'll see y'all again soon, man. Shout out to everybody joining. And we're out. Appreciate you, Nick, Antonio, the Bronin. Everybody that was in the building today. I mean, there was a lot of people, a lot of y'all in the building, man. I appreciate it. We out.